Hello, Brad here. Just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. It's Friday, it's 5pm, and I have a summer cold, Bradley. I think...
Whoa, are you telling me you're sick? And I'm not sick
I'm
for
the
once?
one. Yeah, I'm the one that's
shit.
feeling a bit rough. I think I got it. It's either my daughter's nursery, but I think it was Manchester Craft Beer Festival.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I didn't get to go, obviously. But how many people there?
I think Greg said like maybe 6,000 over the 3 sessions.
And it looked quite... it was like a big sort of steamy box, it looked like from the photos. So
Steamy
I can imagine
yeah, really big for. It was like it was under the basically under the railway coming into Manchester Piccadilly, pretty much. So it was
awesome.
A giant railway. You could fit like Camden Town Brewery into this particular brewery railway. It probably looked steamy because obviously there were food vendors there cooking up a storm, but also it leaked real bad. There were areas where you were basically outside.
Okay, so talk to me, because I don't know the venue. What is the venue when it's not Manchester Beer Festival?
It's like a gig, an event venue.
Okay, it's not a brewery. The Depot.
No.
Oh, I've heard of the Depot. Okay, it's the Depot.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is just like, it's almost like, I mean, it's way bigger than like any of the London Bridge arches. It's, probably 100 metres wide and many 100 metres long.
How fast do you think you could run the 100 metres across the Depot, Johnny? Given the conditions of pools of water on the floor, crowds of people, drunk people trying to accost you. Hey, it's Johnny from Craft Beer Channel. Hey, Johnny. And you've got to sprint through them all and avoid the obstacles and not slide over.
Do you know, I can answer that pretty accurately because so I was running the tastings all weekend. So breweries doing tutored tastings with me with crowds. The tastings were up on the stage. So there were stairs to get down from the stage into the main area, and lots of breweries, love those breweries, brought cans for the tasting.
Yes.
So they just turn up with the cans. I'd pour the cans. We'd chat. It would be lovely. Some breweries were draft only, so I would have to go and just before the tasting, fill up the jugs with beer, bring them back to the tasting area. Sometimes, for certain beers, you'd have a bit more interest. It'd be standing room only, 50, 60 people watching, and one jug ain't gonna cut it. But you never know for certain because people turn up late, or you think, I could give slightly smaller pours and stretch this out. But basically, every now and then I'd run out of beer in the jug. There'd be a big groan from the people that didn't get the beer. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. And then I would run into the fray with these jugs saying, hello, yes, it's me from the Craft Beer Channel. Yes, I know your girlfriend hates me, all this kind of stuff. And then obviously the other thing is people going like, oh, where'd you get those jugs? Can I have one? Kind of thing. And I'd have to get to the brewery, refill the jugs, and then run back.
Wow.
So in answer to your question,
yes,
slowly, 2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes, okay.
Per 100 meters.
I'm picturing like a Takashi's Castle style assault course now, where you're wearing a colourful leotard with like a padded helmet, like a sort of Japanese game show contestant, and there's all like padded obstacles and people are Maybe they've got like batons like out of gladiators. They're trying to knock you off your podium, literally and figuratively.
I think the bouncers were confiscating all gladiator-related paraphernalia at the door.
They had a zero gladiator tolerance.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good to know. It's good to know.
They've learned the lessons of previous beer festivals. I mean, obviously they're still doing Skytrack, but all the others are banned.
Greg, Skytrack. Is that a game from it or something? I don't know the reference. What's Skytrack?
Skytrack. It's where they. Oh my god, Bradley! It's
that
where
like hand pedal things?
No. Well, no. This one is where they're sort of. I think they're crawling, but they're upside down on the ceiling.
Oh wow! I remember one where they're pumping with their hands on like a bicycle pedals.
Yeah, that's
pumping along. Is that Skytrack?
That's in the final race, I think. It's along like a zip wire, and they have to sort of pedal it.
Great. Sounds great. I love the fact that our cameraman we use on the Time Is Now he got really far in UK Ninja Warrior, didn't he?
Yeah. Maybe we should, because he'll be with us at London Craft Beer Festival. Maybe we could send him with the jugs, and he'll be like jumping over people.
We need to send Tom. That's what we need to do, man. Yeah, he's the man. He's the man.
He's the man to fill your jugs.
He's too handsome though, Johnny. He'll get accosted by.
Oh, don't be threatened. It's not what's on the outside, Bradley. Is it actually hair envy? Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's massive hair envy. The man's beautiful Adonis with flowing hair. He's not grey yet, although he has had kids now, so he might be grey.
He's going to go grey since the last time we saw him. Yeah.
We can only hope, Johnny. We can only hope.
Of course we wish that for our lovely cameraman.
No, of course not. But that's great, man. So did you have a good time at Manchester?
I did. It was wonderful. I mean, other than like the rain, which came in, and the sound guy that was doing the sound for my stage had to move all his kit because he was being rained on. But
holy shit.
Otherwise, like really cool venue, some amazing beer. Highlights were Two Flints are just making incredible stuff. They are in Windsor.
Two Flints in Windsor.
Yep.
Cool.
They're
awesome.
a newish brewery making magical stuff. They had a great West Coast IPA. They had a great New England IPA. They had a great sour. When we were judging the Raise the Bar, which is the competition where new breweries can get to pour at these festivals, they had a great Keller beer. Just everything is clean and dialed in already, beautifully packaged. They're ones to watch. And then another one which beer writers have been raving about for a long time, and I haven't had much access to because they're up in, not even in Manchester. They're in the surrounds. Is Red Willow. They have been on the channel. We put a mild of theirs on the channel, but they're one of those breweries that seem to have sort of nailed traditional and very modern brewing. So I had a fantastic West Coast dipper.
Nice.
But as I say, like on the channel, the only beer they've had on there's been a mild. So they do a bit of everything, and the beers were absolutely amazing. And a huge shout out, I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but she runs the Buxton. They have a tap room in Buxton. She runs it, and she was amazing behind the bar with the knowledge about the beers and taught me a lot about what they're doing up there. So hi to that lady whose name I've unfortunately forgotten. But if you see Red Willow, you got to go get their beers. They were fantastic.
Sounds awesome, man. Are these winners of Raise the Bar, or are they just already
Two Flints were?
In that? Right, okay.
Red Willow are quite an old brewery.
Been around.
They've been
for
around
a while,
for a while, yeah. The other Raise the Bar guys, I should shout them out. So Little Monsters, they're black. They made like a Tamavi, like a black lager that was absolutely amazing. All stars, delicious. I had that in my tasting. Had an incredible. So Holy Goat, which is why one of the original founders of Vault City, who left Vault City, and he's focusing like on Brett and careful what I say here, like legit, like whole fruit and stuff, not like the smoothie sour kind of style that Vault City went down. They had a mixed culture golden ale that tasted like no fruit added, that tasted of pineapples and mangoes, and it was just a remarkable beer. Wow. I could not believe, and it was really peachy as well. I could not believe there was no fruit in it. Just so much character from that blend of different Bretts and a bit of lactobacillus. It was incredible. And who's the brewery I'm missing? Two Flints, Little Monsters, Holy Goat. Oh my god.
That's plenty, to be fair. But
well, there should be one more.
Yeah,
there should be one more. So I feel
bar,
if there were two more, I'd be like, oh, you know what? I've said my highlights, but now I feel really bad that I can't remember. Give me 1 second. Oh my god, I forgot Sure Shot.
Sure.
Which is the original head brewer of Cloudwater's brewery, brewing on the track kit. Magic New England IPA.
Yeah. Are we on the pod, Johnny, or is this us talking?
Oh no, we're on the pod still.
We're on the pod. It went a bit Inception there, Johnny. I didn't know which level of reality I was in.
You know how little I edit these podcasts.
Sure Shot. I love their can artwork is awesome.
Do you love it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. It's I had one with like ninjas and stuff on it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's appealing to child Brad, but as a piece of design,
I quite like the way. I just quite like how
awful.
Weird it is.
Right. Okay.
Let me have a look at it. Pretty awful. Let me have a look. I'll give you my critical opinion on the spot.
I mean, awful's a strong. I guess I just don't know what they're trying to achieve. Who they're pointing
They're
at.
doing the way. I like the custom wavy thing.
That's cool. Like the cut out labels. Yeah.
Like the actual artwork that's on them always looks like super involved. Like they're paintings. They are paintings of ninjas. There's one here I'm looking at. Favorite service station, New England IPA. It looks like a who's the American painter? Is it Hopper that used to paint like diners and stuff? It looks like one of his paintings. It looks like one of the paintings, but it's got
that sounds classier than the
it.
stuff. Like I'm remembering like the one they did that was just like Mr. Blobby all over it, just like painting, but in MS Paint, they just stitched them all together, kind of thing.
I quite like that too, Johnny.
Right, okay.
It's like I just think it's just fun, and I like the wavy cutout thing on the can. I don't mind it, Johnny. I don't mind it.
I worry. You know, if you're just getting into craft beer, or if you're somebody that's not in craft beer and thinks craft beer is stupid, and then you see cans like that.
Oh yeah, they're stupid. But I think there's time to be stupid as well. Like it's time. Stupid is fun. You know.
Stupid at the end of the day, the beer inside is great. And that should be most of what matters.
Yeah, I definitely like it. The more I'm looking at it, I like most of them. They're like crazy. They're ridiculously over the top. A lot of them, like you're saying, look a bit mad, like clip art sort of vibes going on. And you know what? I'm kind of here for it. I think it's odd.
It's a little bit like, you know that thing that people that don't really understand art always say, like, "Oh, I could do that."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could do it. Probably.
There's a little element of that to their labels. I think I'm probably like. Yeah, I could do that.
I quite like that as well, though, because it seems quite throwaway, almost, some of it. Some of it's very considered, some of it's a bit throwaway. I don't know. We've talked about them a long time now. The beer is the main thing that's important.
Well, but I was literally just thinking, this is a long and genuine convection that's beer-related.
I know.
So I was letting it run. That's the longest we've managed in a long time.
I quite like. I'm going on record saying I like the branding. I think it's good. I think it's pretty standout, and
it's certainly that. I'm not going to deny
every single can is like fucking crazy. They're all totally different from each other. There's no like house style, other than it's like a wave, like a die cut sort of wave around the silver can, exposing parts of the silver can that undulate as it wraps around. Pleasingly, Johnny, pleasingly to my eye.
Right.
I'm looking at what's this one? Sure Shot Brewing Esther Sattenbrau Lagerhell, and this is very fun. It's got the Bavarian flag in the background, and it's just got loads of clip art of people drinking steins and singing, and then it's got like cathedrals in the background. It's got the lion. Is that the Berlin's a sorry, one was about Berlin. Is the Munich city logo a lion? Because there's a lion drinking a stein.
I mean, there's lions and bears involved in Munich history.
Yeah, because like
the bear is more
Berlin,
associated with Berlin, but there are bears.
That's their like thing. There are bears. There are bears there.
But like Löwenbräu is lion brewery.
Yeah, there's another one that's got like a mystical sort of like Zoltar.
This is
magnificent
starting to feel a
character
little
on
bit like you're just
Tangent.
describing labels to people.
I am.
Right.
Because I am, Johnny. I am. And I'm saying I'm there for it. Whoever's doing them, I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I even like the Mr. Blobby one. That is the what? Do you know what? Think about it. That's the first one I saw that on a shelf, my childlike wonder just went, "What the fuck is that?" Picked it up, looked at it.
Wait,
and was just
Child
like,
Brad swore.
Yeah.
What-
Foul
what-
mouth, childlike
you were swearing
wonder.
pretty much out the womb, were you?
No, I still don't swear in front of my mum. I don't swear.
You just
in front
save
of
it
her
for
mum.
the
As
pod.
as far as my mum knows, I don't.
Even though we get
Don't tell
emails
her.
from people going like, please, like, I listen to this with my kids sometimes, and you keep dropping
dear.
F-bombs.
Well, we're talking about alcohol briefly, Johnny. I know it's supposed to be a beer podcast, but
Yeah, but I think if ever there was
Yeah.
like an anti-advertisement for alcohol, it would probably be this podcast. So probably it's doing some good for the kids.
yeah, I'm going on record again, Johnny. I'm doubling down,
Oh god.
and I'm saying that I love Dun Blobbin, which is the blobby double dry hops IPA artwork is sublime. It's ridiculous and sublime. It's got Mr. Blobby.
Well, why don't
in a
you,
Mexican
while we're going
hat.
down this road, why don't you take a look
Yeah.
at Two Flints now? Because I think Two Flints is beautiful and classy and nice and thirst-inducing.
I'm sure I'm going to hate it then.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
I think you are.
Two Flints. Okay, I can see the. Okay, it's very it's tasteful, Johnny. It's tasteful. I really like the typography. The actual words on the Two Flints, beautiful. The way that it's kind of got a sort of 3-dimensional quality to the letter forms I'm into.
Yep.
I collect psychedelic art from the 1960s and 70s, so I appreciate the sort of ripply, what would you call it? Like, it looks like almost like liquid, fluoro liquid that's kind of dripping across the can mid-drift, and they appear to have lots of different. It's almost like marble. I think what it might be is marbled paper, or have you ever seen this marbling process where you fill a tray with water and then you have coloured oils that you drop in the top, and you can use toothpicks or combs to like pull patterns across the top of the oil.
Yeah, I did
And
that
you
in
can
like primary school.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, which is beautiful. I love that stuff. It's kind of like that, or it looks a little bit like an psychedelic oil lamp. So I'm here for it. I really like it, Johnny. And the thing is, you can have both things, right? And they can both be cool.
Yeah.
And it does stand out in a similar way, but it feels way more like the Two Flints thing is isolated at the top on every single can. It really stands out. They've thought about the width of the can and how it's going to display on a shelf. So
They have. Not always done by breweries. Things go around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. So they've really considered that. I love the minimal psychedelic artwork. It's a little bit like a what's that?
Oh my God. Do you know what it's just reminded me of? Right.
Are you going to say that Australian psychedelic band? What are they
Definitely not. No, I was going to say BBC Two.
Yeah.
You know, they went through a phase of it was like a number 2 with like slow mo.
Yeah.
There were like ribbons,
Yeah.
and there was one where they dropped it into like there was like coloured dust.
Paint.
Or was
Yeah,
it coloured?
dust,
Yeah, there was
yeah,
paint. It reminds me of that kind of art. I don't know
Yeah,
what that
man.
is, but I'm looking at Looking Glass, which was the really good West Coaster, and that's what it reminds me of. I want to put a big BBC Two on it.
Yeah, I love both of these, Johnny. They're both great brands. They're both very standout. This one is feels more considered.
You're aware you said bands
grown
there,
up.
right?
Did I say bands?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I look at breweries as kind of like they are kind of bands. They're setting their table out, aren't they? These are their record covers, so
Yeah.
kind of see them similar styles.
Yeah, we've talked about that
similar
before. I
things.
like it as a
Yeah,
simile. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like both, man. I like both. I'm being all positive today, Johnny. Loving them both.
There we go. Well, yes. So Manchester Craft Beer Festival was great. I had lots of lovely beer. I will say that so some of the bigger breweries pay to have like a big space, right? And
Yeah.
Le Chouffe have started coming. Duvel own Le Chouffe, and they have I think it's called like the Le Chouffe Forest, and you walk through what looks like a giant tooth that's been hollowed out, and you go in, and there's trees, and there's a Le Chouffe bar all in wood. It's kind of alpine. It's nice. It's all right.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were giving out free hats. Free Chouffe, so gnome hats.
Yes.
Which meant that everybody basically had hats by the end, which is, fine. Not great for the photography of the event because everything looks like it's sponsored by Chouffe, which is fair play to Chouffe. The issue I had was at the start of every session, the 3 sessions, you know how people used to run to the breweries they wanted to taste? And there'd be queues for like Verdant and back when hype was big in craft beer.
Yeah,
now,
like at a theme park where you run
go
to
straight
the
for the big rides.
Yeah.
Now, people were literally running and queuing for Le Chouffe hats.
Oh man, that's bullshit. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, it was bonkers. I couldn't because I think I was on the phone when the session started. Came in, I was like, "Oh, that's a big queue. What's this brewery? I don't know. Oh my god, it's people queuing for tacky hats from Le Chouffe."
Chouffe, the great Chouffe stampede of 23.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it happened 3 times.
Damn, that's crazy.
So
How
it's
many
like
hats
fair
can you
play
wear?
to Chouffe for coming up with that, and everybody drank Chouffe, and probably they converted a lot of people. But man, we're idiots, aren't we? Humans.
People are idiots. Yeah, but also we love free stuff. Like, I love free stuff.
But
Who
all the
doesn't love
beer's
stuff?
free. Why would you go to
know.
a beer festival where the beer's free and
yeah.
then be like, "Oh, I love me a shit hat that probably won't even come home with me."
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to probably drop it at a bus stop or something and not realise I've dropped it.
Or just drop it in a puddle in the venue. Saw plenty of those.
Yeah, that's sad as well to think about.
I saw the saddest thing. I saw a lady drop her white denim jacket straight into a muddy puddle.
Oh dear.
It
Oh,
was.
dear. That'll teach her for wearing white denim.
I mean, she wasn't to know that the venue was going to leak. I had
Who wears
nothing but
white
sympathy.
denim to a beer festival, mate?
It's a
That is
dangerous
bad.
game.
I mean, when we do our beer festival, tickets are still available, but they are dwindling. We're
Only
down
30
to
of them, people.
30,
Only 30
30.
tickets left.
30 tickets. But when we do ours, I'm trying to buy a pair of
White denim trousers.
I'm looking at a cowboy hat as well, Johnny. I'm looking at a new cowboy hat potentially.
Is this a new? Is this a midlife crisis direction for you? Like
I
you've
might
watched
just
too
start
much
wearing-
Yellowstone.
Yeah. Oh, if you watch Yellowstone now, I've watched it all, but I do love Yellowstone. But I'm thinking I'll come out like I've always said. If I actually get married, I'm gonna wear like a white cowboy suit, or a cream off-white cowboy suit, cowboy hat, maybe cowboy boots. But that's my vibe, Johnny.
No stouts
I'm a
at your
cowboy.
wedding is the rule.
Well, this
In
is
case
what I'm
of
saying.
splash.
You've got to wear appropriate stuff for a beer festival / wedding.
I
So,
to my shame, actually, the designer of, she no longer works at Lervig, but she designed all of Lervig sort of the wonderful sort of gnarly illustrations of the yeast. Houses and stuff.
Nana? Is there Nana?
Nana.
Nana, I believe, yeah.
Yeah. I spilt a big imperial stout on a retro, like a very nice, I'd say possibly silk blouse
Oh, dear.
at Indie Man 2018, and I still want to die when I think about it.
That does sound quite bad.
She was so nice.
How did
about
she
it.
do it? Oh, she was good with it.
She was
Okay,
so
that's
nice
good.
about it.
She seemed like a nice person.
She
now
is.
in the fashion industry, right? Making sort of like leather from the beer industry wastage or something crazy?
from waste malt, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, like a leather type fabric. That sounds super interesting.
Yeah, I think it could be quite a big deal. Last time I spoke to her, it was like it's a entirely renewable, quite powerfully strong material. So there's lots of different uses for it.
I'm waiting for my hop leather hot pants. Not hot pants, sorry.
Brad, we're
That
not going to
came
get
out
any
wrong.
gifts because, as I've explained, I ruined a very expensive silk blouse.
Well, she sounds forgiving enough. Can she make me a size 34? Maybe I'll go boot cut, or should I go skinny cut jeans? But out of this sort of hop leather. What do you reckon?
I
Malt
reckon there's a
leather.
lot of conversations to have with Nana before we get to whether it's boot cut or skinny.
I don't think I've ever bought a pair of boot cut jeans in my life, Johnny. But Now I'm
I bought some
approaching my cowboy
flares
phase.
when
Did you?
yeah, when Stereophonics released. I was a Stereophonics fan as a teen.
I'm sorry about that, Johnny.
Hey, no, they were good at the start. It all went horribly wrong.
Well, you say it all went horribly wrong. My favourite Stereophonics song is that one that's got that bow, bow, bow. It's got like this great sort of guitar sound that sounds a bit like a U2 song. And he goes, and I feel that one. You know the one where he's in a car?
Dakota.
Dakota, yeah, the American one.
Yeah,
that was way after I remember ever thinking Stereophonics were a thing.
Yeah, they were long.
And they came out with that,
dead.
and I was like, that's their fucking best tune they've ever done. It's an amazing tune.
It's not. It's a good tune. It's not.
Is it not the best tune they've ever done?
No.
Come on.
No.
Surely. That's like a... Well, I'll tell you what, Johnny. That might go in the indie disco playlist of Ronnie Joyce's set for us at our beer festival.
Are you keeping notes of stuff you want to get played?
Well, we've got to start, haven't we?
Mine's just Taylor Swift from start to finish.
Have you watched The Bear? We can't do spoilers of The Bear, but there's a Taylor Swift song in an optimum moment of series 2 of The Bear.
All right, I've only watched the first. Well, I've just watched the flashback Christmas episode.
Right. Oh, fucking hell.
Which was stressful.
Fuck, man.
Good
so
Lord.
Harrowing. Yeah.
My wife had to go. I think she had a panic attack during it.
Yeah. I mean, it's horrendous to watch. Do you think they aged up Jamie Lee Curtis? Her face looks... I know she's getting older now, but I remember seeing her in Halloween, one of the Halloween films, maybe a couple of years ago. I think they aged her up a bit for this somehow.
It was super high contrast, wasn't it? Everybody looked a little bit like it was the morning after the heaviest night of their lives. I think that was kind of on purpose for the stress.
That's true.
I don't know whether they aged her up or not.
Yeah, the Taylor Swift song is it called Love Story? Is that a Taylor Swift song?
Yeah.
And fuck me, it is so good. This bit in the episode.
I remember when we were on our the Times Now road trip. I played you some Swift, and you were like, "I'm not into it."
I'm not into it, and I'm definitely not into. This was I checked it afterwards. I was like, "That's so fucking cool." That bit in the show, that I was like, "That sounds like Taylor Swift." I reckon that's her voice. I didn't know the song. In the back of my mind, I was like, "I know the tune." So I googled, I think, Love Story or something, and it popped up 14 years ago that came out, that song. Yeah. I didn't even know she was going 14 years ago.
Dude, she's prolific. She's incredible. She was precocious, and she has aged into a fine wine and fine artist. Fine wine.
That music video is terrible, though. The one from 14 years ago. It's sort of like a kind of mystical fairyland setup where she looks like a sort of princess in a tower singing to a guy that looks like he's out of a Disney film, like a Zac Efron character with floppy hair. Right.
So it was pre self-awareness Swift, and now she's all about the meta.
Yeah, it was naff. Right. It was a real naff video. I was like, oh man, I thought she was proper serious, but she must have been about. She must have been about 15 when she put a record out. I don't know how old she is.
The first album was about. Well, she's like 2 years younger than me, so she'd have been like late teens. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Anyway, good tune, surprisingly enjoyable, and amazing in the context that I just love film, I love television, and the way that, great directors use great music is wonderful.
You can just say my name, Bradley. You can just say my name.
Well, yeah, you use a lot of McDonald. What's his name?
Otis McDonald, my boy.
Otis McDonald, your boy. So yeah, the way great editors employ
Stop
Otis
laughing.
McDonald exclusively. Otis McDonald is a thing of beauty, Johnny, to behold.
Hey, you find me some more royalty free.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think he's it's very good. Otis McDonald, a funky motherfucker.
It's tricky. We don't talk about. Well, we have talked about the music in Craft Beer Channel videos, but it is. We started off with like all the rock music, and that's what everybody else was doing, and I was like, it's too predictable. I think it's too kind of men with beards. So I tried to find something else. Found this guy Otis, and I don't know. To me, it's kind of inspirational, but it's funky and it's interesting while still being quite occasionally serious. So I don't know. I feel like he recently added some more music to the list as well, so there's more we can do. You know, I'm not leaving my boy Otis anytime soon.
No, man. I think he's done us proud.
Yeah,
Definitely. I hope he gets
good.
decent amount of royalties from our, big.
Well, he won't get
niche.
any royalties. He'd have just been paid a megaton by
okay.
YouTube at the start to.
Yeah, they don't get royalties. It's royalty free, isn't it? They don't get. You don't reckon they get anything for plays?
Don't think so.
Wow. Okay.
No, I reckon they're just paid to create a bit of music that they just sell to Google.
I listened to podcasts this week, Johnny, about I've forgotten his name. The guy from Chic. How have I forgotten his name? I love him. He's brilliant. Oh man,
It's the pressure of the pod, man.
It's the pressure of the pod. It's a Louis Theroux interview. Why have I lost it? Hang on. His name is Nile Rodgers. I don't know why I just had a brain fart there. He has written so many funky tunes, Johnny. But the man, he's worth $300 million now. Pretty amazing. I had no idea he was worth anywhere near that. That's got to put him near the top of like music, a live musical artist's value. You know how much they've got. I would have thought.
I wouldn't know, but
he's just prolific.
I'd be happy with that amount.
300 milli. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty
I'd
decent.
take that.
His mum and dad both heroin addicts.
That's not
and
the direction I thought you were going with that.
He's had a crazy life where he left home at like 14 or something, and he was basically homeless in New York as a hippie kid and just lived in communes and stuff, and somehow then became an incredible jazz musician. Just as the start of disco happened, he was like really great jazz musician and brought this sort of funky jazz stuff to disco and amazing arrangements that people weren't doing. He basically worked out the magic formula and is still applying it to this day, which is awesome as well. On the latest Daft Punk thing, he was on one of the records. So,
well, there you go. A little culture share.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you could stick that little interview in our Discord forum, Bradley, so that people can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really good.
Right, we did a good job of finally escaping beer. So let's get back to it.
Yeah.
This week's video.
It's going down all right, isn't it?
It's absolutely flying.
Yeah, man. I think it's a great video, right? Like, it's a video everyone wants to know about the 10 beers to try before you die, right?
Which I didn't really see it as that when we filmed it, but I think it's better for that, because otherwise we might have made some slightly more
I think we've shot from the heart rather than the head, in some of this stuff. So it's personal things. It's not necessarily the objectively, critically best beers in the world, but they're the best beers we've drunk on the channel while making stuff that we love and that are like important to us in our personal lives.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. Taking all that into consideration, I think it's great.
Yeah, and I was worried whenever you put a listicle live that says like these are the best or something, you're always worried people are going to tear it apart. But everybody seems to agree. It's just it's like yes and it's like and lots of other ideas of things like we'll dig into the one area that has upset some people in a second, but mostly it's people talking about their local IPAs and their local lagers in the comments, which is great. The two styles of craft beer that fill that everyday pint gap, and everybody has their local favorite, and that's what beer should be. That really is the craft dream. It's like yes. I love beer wherever I go, but I've got my home favorites. That's what went wrong with beer beforehand, where everybody was drinking the same, likely very dull macro lager from another part of the world, but probably brewed in Burton.
Exactly. So it's like, it's a success, isn't it, that people are saying, I like drinking my local IPA best. Yeah. Because that is the best IPA you're going to drink. It's fresh to you, hasn't travelled, probably has remained cool throughout its journey, hopefully. So, hopefully not light struck or anything like that. And you're going to drink it lovely and fresh. And you're going to get it at its best because it's local to you and it hasn't done loads of miles. Better for the planet, better for you, better for everyone. Better for your local economy.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. It's the craft dream, Johnny.
It's the craft dream. So it was very lovely to see that. I was slightly aware that people that had watched lots of our content before could have probably guessed all 10, except for maybe Arabir.
Oh yeah, I've got to say, Johnny, thank you for introducing me to my first Arabir on camera. I thought it was absolutely delicious.
Good, I'm glad. It's wild I haven't forced it upon you before, so I apologise for not doing it sooner. How
we got away with that, but yeah, I thought it was beautiful, and I'd love to go to the brewery now. I think if we do a Belgium trip, I think
go see your man Chris. Yeah, we could try and add that to where we're supposed to be going to Belgium this year at some point. Things keep getting in the way, so we can definitely go see Chris and his bar towel gilet.
Oh man, I've now got a bar towel giant blanket. Which
that's come through, has it?
Yeah. I've got it now.
I need
but
photos.
I haven't got any photos for you, Johnny, but I've got it. It's in my possession. I didn't make it myself. I had massive intentions to make my own one, till I realised it's quite hard to sew those things through a conventional sewing machine, and also to buy a collection would have cost a lot more than I paid for it. But it's the only thing I would say. It's got like a couple of tobacco brands in the mix.
Oh,
because it's obviously like vintage from the 80s or something. So there's like maybe like a Rothmans or something in there as well, which obviously we don't condone or support smoking in any way.
No,
or the tobacco industry. Just
the only drug should be alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah, just alcohol. Just drink, you bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's fun. But how do we go? Oh, so he wears a gilet, does he? I love that.
A gilet made of bar towels, Elgoods
so cool.
mostly, I believe.
Oh right. Well, that's which also interesting.
While fishing out, it's been fun fishing out all of the B-roll from these videos and remembering all these little details I'd kind of forgotten as I hunt through them.
Sorry, just to divert slightly, there's a huge YouTuber called Zach Alsop, who I think I have mentioned before on here. He used to have a thing called Zach and Jay Show. He's absolutely massive. And he just does sort of pranky things and all sorts of silly ideas. But his sister, he's got over 1 million subs now. His sister makes clothing out of beer towels. And I've tried to get her to send me some shorts to try on. But she wouldn't do it, Johnny. And they're very expensive. They're like £150 for a pair of shorts or something. So I thought
well, if the bar towels are expensive to buy in the first place, you now know why.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. She's buying them all up. I think she is.
Oh, she's driving the price.
I think she's driving the price up, the market. Yeah. But they are really cool. I can't remember what her name is on Instagram, but if you can find Zach Alsop, he is wearing a pair of them at some point on his Instagram, and amazingly I didn't know it was his sister, and I was already following her before I connected the dots and went, oh shit, that guy's wearing her shorts. And
I wonder, you say his surname's Alsop?
Yeah, Zach Alsop.
I wonder if they're part of the Alsop dynasty, which is a brewing dynasty.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. That's insane. He's quite that could be, you know. I've never heard him talk about it. What? Yeah, how do you spell Alsop? Is it ALSOP?
I think it's 2 L's. Maybe 2 P's, I'm not sure.
He's ALSOP. But he's good. Like, I haven't watched any of his videos in a while, but he's got a good mind about sort of the crazy stuff he gets up to. But yeah, I really want a pair of shorts. As people will see in the video, do like a jazzy pair of shorts.
The Shortsgate rumbles on, doesn't it? Just
oh dear, never stops.
New people to the videos just being like, "What on earth?"
Shocking.
And I remember,
man.
Yeah, when I showed you the first edit, you're like, "Oh, I didn't think the shorts would be in it," and it would have probably been best if they weren't. I don't know whether it's the shorts or the legs that are really raising the eyebrows.
I don't know. It's a lot of leg. There's a lot of leg there to contend
Plenty
with.
of leg. Plenty
you
of leg.
See my powerful sort of thigh muscles that I've got. They sort of look a bit withered in the
ones that take you around London.
Yeah. Although I haven't been cycling very much of late, to be honest. I need to get back on the bike, literally, because I've slacked off a bit lately. But yeah, back on the bike, Johnny. I did like your liberal use of photos
Well, you sent me so many
and stuff. I did. I must have sent you about 25 photos yesterday when you requested them.
Yeah, I was just asking for one, but once they started flying into my WhatsApp box,
yeah,
I couldn't resist.
No, they're great.
I had indecision and anxiety. I'll just put them all in. You're lucky there weren't 25 of them.
Oh, that would have been good if it just took over the whole screen. Just lots of various angles of my different 1990s Dayglow mountain bikes.
Yeah. I mean, if the internet ever runs out of space, it's because of the amount of photos that Brad Evans takes.
There's a whole
as a
server
witness
farm.
to how many you take.
I do take a lot of photos. It's true. I was just saying before we started this that my phone is, I don't know if it's on its last legs, but it keeps saying it's overheating. So I don't know if it's time to get a new iPhone. Apple, if you're out there,
They're not out there, Brad.
Shouting at you, Apple. Send us a new iPhone, blood.
Anyway, should we dig into the comments?
Go on then.
So the first one I want to address is something that blew my mind so much I had to tweet it, and I put it in the Discord forum as well. Is Hannes Lint8231 says, in Sweden we call it a handbeien, referring to drinking 50 cl German beer straight from the bottle. How cool is that? A handbeien.
What does it mean? Sorry, handbeien. What does that mean?
As in from Bayern. So it's in your hand and it's from Bayern. It's a handbeien.
Oh, right. So it's like sort of shorthand. So that's because she's drinking it straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
Sick. I like that. Yeah,
I love it. I want to brew a beer with somebody called handbeien.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's super
Maybe
cool.
we can. I love that. That's
well,
great.
we are brewing a fest beer next week. I literally, just as we hit record, I saw an email came through from Alex at Lost and Grounded with the final recipe. So I'm looking forward to digging into that.
Did we come up with a name for? We were talking about unhinged and stuff, weren't we? That was a good one. Like, did we get anywhere with that? Have we got much? Have we got much say in what we
I've got a list. I'm going to add some and then send it over to Verdant, and they're going to pick a winner. I think maybe definitely not a cult might be the right one. That's a refrain frequently used.
That is a good one. That's from
quite
our Patreon forum.
Yeah, I don't think Verdant really do puns as good as Unhinged is.
Unhinged is great. I kind of want to make a horror film now called Unhinged. It's such a good idea.
Other comments. Oh no, we'll save that one for last. Echo Sonic Music says, trigger warning, Johnny uses the word balance to describe beer twice. With a winky face. I want to just clarify some things around here. I never meant to say that we shouldn't use the term balance for beer. What I meant is it is overused when we actually mean structured. So beer can be balanced. There's lots of balanced beers out there, and you can even within a recipe try to balance something out. But to refer to a beer as balanced is usually nonsense in modern beer because it's not balanced. So when I was using it in those instances this week's video, I think I meant them, and I did mention structured as well. But yeah, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, you said the word balanced." You can use it, just use it correctly. I was having this conversation online with somebody who, on the original video, took me up on it, and I think he just put in capitals, "That's semantics," and I was like, "Yes, it is." Have you met me? Right, last comment from me is from Beauty of the Struggle.
Yes.
Who says, "Absolutely no lambic. I am scandalized."
Oh dear, yeah, that is a good point.
This was also raised in the Discord forum. And what I said, and I spoke for you a little bit here, Bradley, so tell me if I'm talking nonsense. But
no.
We love lambic. And we, frequently hunt it out and drink it occasionally. But it's never been, those 10 beers were supposed to be beers that we would drink again in a heartbeat or that would come on the desert island. It's our go-to absolute faves. And Lambic's never really played that role for us. There are people that love it that much and drink it every day, but it's never been that for us.
No, and that might be because I haven't been to the Pachotan land very much or anything like that. So maybe it doesn't mean as much to me, or maybe it's just I don't find it as refreshing, Johnny, and as rejuvenating as some of the other choices. Well, most of the other choices that we've... Hello? What's that? Is that you blowing your nose?
Yeah, just had to blow my nose, sorry.
Oh, wow.
We will edit that out.
I actually thought that was a trumpet then. I
blew it through a trumpet.
Yeah, I was totally confused by that.
Yeah.
I
always blow my nose through a trumpet.
I thought it was a baby elephant that just walked into the Brudio for a second there, Johnny.
He wouldn't fit. Let's be honest.
It's taking me back to just to divert again. The Nile Rodgers interview with Louis Theroux.
Oh, about that.
Yeah, because there's a really famous jazz trumpet player whose name escapes me, but he talks about unusual phrasing in Niles's writing, and the way he played with the offbeats. And I'm not a hugely musical person. I don't know what the percussive nature of how he made stuff. And this very famous trumpet player was asked in an interview what was the most important note he ever played in his life, like a single note. And without even hesitating, he said it was, "I want your love, I need your love." And there's like a pause in it. It goes, "I want your love, I need your," and it goes brr, brr, sort of like a brr noise, trumpet, love. And that made me think of it, Johnny. Your noise there just links me back.
It's the most important nose blow I've ever done.
Yeah, maybe.
Now I don't know whether I can edit out the nose blow. I didn't want to suggest. No, I thought Brad's off on one, so I'll take the opportunity. And now I'm going to have to put it in, because how am I going to edit out this? And you'll probably reference it later, like you do in all of our videos. I'm like, that's going on the cutting room floor, and then you reference it later, so I can't. And that's why all our videos are about 3 hours long these days.
I do think that we're all a little bit got sort of synesthesia, which is where you sort of your mind connects different sort of things. So you might hear a sound and it makes you think of a color or whatever. I feel like I have that with sound and my visual cortex. So like sounds trigger images for me a lot of the time. Shame it's not flavors triggering colors. That would be fucking awesome. Like Pete, who we used to work with, who was an amazing chef. But I think that they're not on the lambics aren't on list because they're not the most thirst quenching beers that I'd reach for if I was in a scenario where you went gun to your head, what are you drinking? Now I'd never say a lambic. I'm always going to say a beautiful, crispy.
Yeah, I think for
something from a tank.
Certainly for me, lambic needs the context. I want to be in a Belgian beer bar, or maybe it doesn't have to be in Belgium. It just has to be sort of that kind of situation. I never really drink lambic at home, and I rarely sort of go into a pub and be like, "Oh, let's get a bottle of lambic to share." It's kind of it's a very geeky moment, or it's a, "Hey, what else are we going to drink?" because we're in a Belgian bar kind of thing. Otherwise, generally reach for clean beer and pints. As we talk about in the video, actually, the pint is the ultimate vessel, and a pint of lambic is tough going, however good it is.
Yes, pint of lambic. That's a mission right there.
Yeah.
By me.
What comments did you find?
There was a lot of stuff. There was a fair bit of stuff about Orval. People were surprised Orval wasn't in there.
Yeah, I mean that was like 11 or 12 on the list. That just missed out. It was kind of Arabeer or Orval, and we don't talk about Arabeer enough, considering it is like my favourite beer.
No, Orval will be hopefully at our beer festival.
Oh yeah, I'll almost guarantee that there'll be an Orval tasting.
Yeah. And like pickled onion, Monster Munch,
100%.
/ crisps, which I talked about before on the last podcast or one before. They're now doing Walker's crisps that are pickled onion, Monster Munch flavour. What a world! Pretty fucking
truly
good.
Humanity has peaked.
Oh, I mean, I think so. Never mind that the world's burning.
Yeah.
We've got pickled onion, Monster Munch flavoured crisps. Not Monster Munch crisps. So
we can eat those while we watch the world burn.
Yeah. And just comment from Matra Cirque. Have to agree with the Augustina, my favourite, even after 1,000+ beers. Is still Rochefort 10.
He's counting.
Yeah. He's saying that. Sorry, he obviously loves. I'm saying he. I don't know if it's a he or a she. It doesn't matter. They love Augustina, but even after 1,000+ beers, Rochefort 10 is number one for them. So Rochefort 10.
Beautiful.
I mean, it is a beautiful beer. I'd still take an Augustina direct from the bottle over it.
Over a Rochefort 10 direct from the bottle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a baller move.
Yeah. That is a baller
Also,
move.
too carbonated for that. I think it would come out your nose.
Yeah, right. It definitely would. There were just loads of comments. It's hard to read out comments that aren't just sort of being nice about us, which we do a lot. But I did suggest before this that we read out a comment that's just being really nice about us, Johnny. Which it's a very, very long comment. What do you think? Is it too self-indulgent?
Let's finish on it, because then if people think it's boring, they can turn off.
True.
What other comments have you got in the meantime?
I don't know. I'm just looking through now. I mean, we could read out some people's lists. That's quite fun, isn't it? This is from Danny Ganelin 977. In no particular order: St Bernardus Xmas, Omnipollo Tefnut Double PBJ, Michaela Beer Geek Fudgesicle, Armandson Desert on a Can, Thornbridge Northbridge, Sammy Claus, Fountain Oud Gers Cuvée, Four Brews.
This is so much more entertaining because you can only pronounce half of the beers.
Yeah, I'm struggling here. Four Brewers Dozer, Lindeman's Spontan Basil.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that beer in a long time.
Do you remember that? That was good, wasn't it? That was a good one. In the big Lindeman's bottles, wasn't it? With like a green label. Yeah, that is a good one. Danny, thanks for reminding us about that. That was a real interest. I think that beer with a margarita pizza, because it had lots of obviously basil going on, didn't it? That was cracking.
It did, yeah. That's. Are you going to keep reading people's lists?
No. Well, I could do. I missed out Harveston Ula Doob.
Old school. Lots of old school beers.
That is old
there.
school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's some more ones. My name is not Corey. Russian River Blind Pig, Alchemist Vocal Banger, Parish Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah, I've heard of that beer. People talking about that one. Yeah.
I haven't heard of that. Equal parts lager beer. On the side pool, nice and frothy. I don't know what that means. So it's obviously some sort of Czech style lager, maybe. Cowtown Highbrow. There's also. I'm just enjoying reading people's lists. I think they're quite.
I mean, it's good. It's good research for us in terms of where we want to go, or if we're going somewhere, we can just look at these lists and be like, right, is there anything special in these regions we're traveling to?
Anyone who's writing a list, please put at the bottom of the list where you're coming from, like Mika has done. He said Blood Brothers, Cactus Head, Bellwood's Grandma's Boys. I'd be a terrible newsreader. Left Field Greenwood, Sawdust City Limberlost, Bellwoods Farmageddon. So they love a bit of Bellwoods, and they've put at the bottom Ontario, Canada represent.
Well, that's no
That's
surprise.
what you need to do, guys. That's what you need to do. You need to put where you're from, where your list is from, and then we can see how these things start to correlate. Because I think they are going to be pretty regional, but there's lots of great stuff on there.
Good. Well, yeah. So if you're looking for inspiration, do have a look at those lists. And Brad and I are actually working on. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that we're working on an app that is still progressing, and that app will very much bring this kind of knowledge all under one roof, we hope. So that we're hoping to release that around about the same time as the festival, but we will see whether that's possible. But it will very much condense. You know, Brad's not going to have to become a newsreader or a beer listicle reader anytime soon. Hopefully.
God, thank God.
Right, that's all we've got time for this week. Other than we're gonna, I tell you what, I'm gonna read the salient points from literally one of the nicest emails I have ever received in my life, which
lovely.
comes from a regular commenter, Father Earth 93 on YouTube, who's emailed us just to say, I'm sending you this message because a regular YouTube comment would not cut it. It's safe to say that some of the best experiences I've had in my life were directly or indirectly due to your videos. I drank the most amazing Lambic beers at Tour de Gers. On a trip to Munich, me and my girlfriend ended up at Augustina Beer Keller, where we spent 3 out of the 4 nights as we loved the atmosphere and the almost too drinkable Augustina Adel stuff on tap. You can probably guess where I got these ideas from. You are 2 of the few YouTubers who still appear genuine and passionate, and try to steer away from clickbaity content. I hope you stay the way you are, although I'm painfully aware you need to put bread on the table too. I need to put more than bread on the table. My daughter is allergic to wheat, so me putting bread on the table is not very helpful at all. I can't thank you enough for that email, Matt. Like, honestly, this is most of our living. It's not all of our living. We still have to supplement it because... they always say YouTube sort of business people, they're like, find a niche and you'll make money. And you're like, well, we found a bloody niche and it's, if anything, restricted us. But we love what we do when we get emails like that. It's just...
makes it all worthwhile, Johnny, doesn't it? And it's so
well,
heartwarming.
That and the wonderful trips.
Isn't it nice to that and the wonderful trips? It's nice to think about people going out into the world and having experiences as a direct result of stuff we've done. And I just love that idea of we're spreading the love, man. We're spreading the vibes. We're creating a better world, one person, one experience at a time. And it's so nice to hear that people have, as a direct result of something that we've experienced, they've gone and experienced it, got out in the world, and had a great time. It's so lovely.
There's something I forgot to tell you, actually. I'll tell you on the pod that at Manchester Craft Beer Festival, there's a brewery called Talking Tides. They're a new brewery. Up in, I think they're in Redcar, way up by Middlesbrough on the coast. And I go up there occasionally because my wife's family are from there. So when I saw that they were at the festival, I was like, oh, well, I'll go try their beers and say hi. Went over, and the head brewer was serving the beers, and he sort of did a double take. And when he saw me, and he came over, and he said that he learned to brew in lockdown.
Wow.
And the first bit of homebrew content he ever watched was our Keep Casket, brew cask at home.
No way.
And that inspired him to become a brewer. And that's not the first time I've been told that. Like, many other breweries have said, like, I got into brewing because of watching your videos. But that's the first time where, certainly in 3 years, a guy's gone from not being able to brew to opening a professional brewery.
Wow.
He doesn't make a best bitter. It's all sort of modern, crispy, delicious stuff. But he makes very good beer. And if you're ever up in Middlesbrough, Saltburn, Redcar, go see Talking Tides and know that you are supporting a very lovely man who said some very lovely things to me. And makes a really nice West Coaster. So, I thought
Beautiful.
You'd like to know that one too.
That's what it's all about, man. It's all about this connecting the dots. And building a community here where everyone's invited, Johnny.
Everyone's invited.
There's no judgment. You can drink your Sure Shot with its terrible / amazing artwork on the cans. You can drink your Augustina straight from the bottle if you so wish to on a street while you're on a bicycle, or you can take your time over a lambic in an amazing beer destination and really luxuriate in the beer, Johnny. It's all about just doing it how you want to do it, isn't it? And just having making the best of your life by doing the best things that you can in the time that you've got, and making sure there's some beers involved.
There you go. Well, I hope there'll be lots of rambling conversations just like that at Love and Beer. There are still tickets left to come and hang out with us and have those kind of conversations, and we cannot wait to see you. It's barely not even 2 months away now, and I haven't been excited about a beer festival like I have for this one, so it's going to be great fun. So if you haven't got your ticket, links below. We'll see you there for some bottle shares, probably some lambic bottle shares, to be fair. Our normal service is resumed next week. No more retrospectives, no more bottle episodes, no more flashback episodes. We're back with new content next Wednesday, and until then, the Bubble and Friday 5pm podcasts are brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's craft beer channel. You can watch over 400 mini documentaries at youtube.com/thecraftbeer channel. And if you love what we do, support us via Patreon and get access to merchandise and our amazing Discord forum, a positive and welcoming space for everyone who loves beer, food and homebrewing. Love and beer.